History has been made for Texas Tech football as James Blanchard, Joey McGuire, Brian Nance, and the Texas Tech football program have officially landed their highest high school commitment in program history. In 2027, five-star edge LaDamion Guyton out of Georgia. In today's video, we'll discuss what Red Raider Nation can expect from the number one overall player in the class of 2027, why this could be a seamless fit, and how the Red Raiders might not be done at the highest of levels in the class of 2027. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome into the Red and Black Report. I am RC Maxfield. This is just a, truth be told, today I didn't know that would ever happen in Texas Tech football program history, but damn it, we are here. If you were excited like I am that LaDamion Guyton has committed to the Scarlet and Black, all I'm going to ask you to do is like the video, because I don't think I was overselling it in the open there, discussing how this is an historic moment for Texas Tech. Let's go ahead and get it on your screen right now. There he is, the newest Red Raider, LaDamion Guyton, the number one overall player in the class of 2027, according to multiple publications. You see it right there. That's how quick we are here on the Red and Black Report. We get these videos out before they even update the commitment over on 247 Sports or on 3 and Rivals. Just another reason to subscribe. Again, this is a monumental day for Texas Tech, and it's one that does come as a surprise to a lot of people nationally. But when you look at really the dots that could be connected to LaDamion Guyton and the Texas Tech athletic department, it kind of makes sense. The most notable one is this. His high school quarterback, Stephen Cannon, is the quarterback commitment for the Red Raiders in the class of 2026. Now, that's not the only thing that makes sense here. Also are the comments that James Blanchard has made in terms of the upper echelon of high school recruiting. He's not afraid to go out there, and if he thinks someone's being undervalued by multiple other programs, he's going to go in there and try and steal a commitment. And that's exactly what it feels like is done here, because listen, LaDamion Guyton's in Georgia. Not many top dogs, no pun intended, in that state from the high school ranks don't go to Georgia. Texas Tech has been hyper-aggressive. They have built a relationship, and they have gone out and they have been hyper-aggressive not only in targeting him, but from a financial standpoint, because right now people have to understand this. The NIL aspect does actually matter here in the sense that Georgia, much like the state of Texas, allows high school players to get paid from NIL, and that is a big-time deal here in terms of this commitment. Now, obviously, there's a lot of other factors here. Texas Tech being hyper-aggressive in terms of that top-end talent, and the fact that I think he's going to be able to play right away. You think about this in the sense that, yes, it's a few years away, and maybe he reclassifies. I know that there has been some discussion of that from guys over at On 3 Rivals, most notably Steve Wiltfong over there, and there's been some whispers that he may not reclassify. So to be honest with you, we're going to have to keep you updated on that here on the channel, in the sense that does he reclassify to the class of 2026, or is he 2 years away from being on campus? Either way, he's going to be an instant impact player. This is a guy, in my opinion, that has the potential to be a really three-and-done player at the collegiate level. And in fact, let's go ahead and look at his scouting report here on the channel. All right, so you see that LaDamion Guyton there on 247, but let's go over to the On 3 Rivals scouting report, because this is a great one. I think Charles Power is one of, if not the best guys in the industry when it comes to scouting these guys at a very high level, and it feels like he's right more often than he's wrong by a large margin. Okay, here's the scouting report for the number one overall player in the 2027 class, LaDamion Guyton. The early favorite as the top edge prospect in the 2027 cycle, explosive, powerful pass rusher with elite bend around the edge at an early stage, flashes high-end first-step quickness, stays very low while running the arc, dipping his shoulder to shrink offensive tackles, converts speed to power with ease, also shows early signs of good hand usage, quick, disengaging on contact, plays with a high motor, and pursues plays from sideline to sideline. Productive in his first 2 varsity seasons at Savannah Christian, totaling 33 tackles for loss while playing alongside 5-star plus defensive lineman Elijah Griffin. He has since transferred to Savannah, Georgia, Benedictine Military for his junior season. He can improve his finishing ability in the backfield, as his ability to disrupt doesn't always manifest in dominant stats. Length and frame are average for the position. First and foremost, I love this because there's not just positives here. There are clear indicators on what LaDamion Guyton needs to work on, okay? But overall, again, we're talking about the number 1 overall player in the class of 2027. This is an historic moment, not only in the sense of landing him as a commitment, but what this means for Texas Tech on the recruiting trail moving forward, okay? This is one of those deals where every other top-tier recruit in their respective class is going to turn heads and be like, what's going on over at Texas Tech, right? Obviously, they know the money is the factor, or a factor, I should say, but also they're getting a lot of guys and they're producing now, okay? What's going on here? Maybe this is something I need to look into. In Texas Tech, again, James Blanchard had a phenomenal quote in an article that was recently released over on The Athletic, stating that he wants to become a modern-day Clemson, okay? Clemson built their dominance in the trenches. You think about the numerous, and I mean numerous, guys on the defensive line that played at Clemson that are now elite pros. You know, obviously the guy that comes to mind first and foremost is Dexter Lawrence. Up with the New York Giants, you've got Christian Wilkins. There are multiple other guys that were high draft picks in the NFL that came from Clemson on that defensive line. And now that is not the sole priority for Texas Tech in terms of high-level recruiting from a football perspective and really a high school recruiting perspective. No, but that's where you're going to find the biggest difference here in the Big 12, right? In the sense that in the Big 12, there are skilled position players that can kind of even things out. The difference in the Big 12 is that, do you have a better offensive line and do you have a better defensive line? And Texas Tech has a high priority on that, obviously going after elite prospects in their respective classes. And obviously this is an historic day. I've mentioned a couple times here on the channel. I can't overstate it. You just landed the number 1 overall player in the 2027 class in LaDamion Guyton, a guy that in my opinion is going to play college football for 3 years, in the sense that he's going to be a first-round NFL draft pick. I think he's that damn good, okay? And I get it. Not all of these guys hit at the rate that you would suspect in terms of a 5-star recruit, but LaDamion Guyton just screams of a pro. Like, he looks like the guy you want leading your edge room for multiple years. And the best part about this, he may be going up against another 5-star. Name to monitor for Texas Tech after the LaDamion Guyton commitment is that a 5-star offensive tackle in the class of 2027 from Fort Gordon, Oklahoma, Fort Gordon High School there in Oklahoma, and 5-star offensive tackle Cooper Hackett. Keep your eye on that one as well. Texas Tech is identifying him as the guy that they want to lead the charge in terms of the 2027 class on the offensive side of the football, because on the defensive side of the football, as it stands right now, it's 5-star edge and number 1 overall player in the entire class of 2027. The highest ranked commitment in Texas Tech program history happened today, folks, when the Red Raiders went down to mighty old Georgia and took one of them dogs and brought him out to the 806. LaDamion Guyton, the number 1 overall player in the class of 2027, has officially committed to the Scarlet and Black. Just an historic day for Texas Tech football. If you are excited like I am, again, all I'm going to ask you to do is like the video, and man, unreal. We'll talk more about this here on the channel in the coming weeks. I can promise you that. We'll also have multiple videos in terms of talking about Texas Tech men's basketball recruiting, but the focus and the highlight today is no doubt on the Red Raiders on the recruiting trail as they land the number 1 overall player in the class of 2027 in 5-star edge, LaDamion Guyton out of Savannah, Georgia. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. Appreciate y'all tuning in to all the content we've got here on the channel. Again, it's 100% free. Might as well give it a shot by hitting that subscribe button, right? If you don't end up liking it, go ahead. You can leave later on, but I promise you're going to love the content we have coming out during football season and the month leading into it. I can promise you that. All right. I'm RC Maxfield for the Red and Black Report. You know what I always say to end these videos: stay safe and Recom Tech.